Well, hello. This is your man about town, Petty Murphy, reporting to you live from the back of the classroom here at Akata News Network. So yes, tonight we're going to start off with the top of the news hour with a one moment. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've just got news from the news desk that we're going to have to go out to our satellite office for some breaking news. Man, you know, I don't know why I'm getting sick of this shit. Why is it every time it's my time to motherfucking shine, y'all gotta cut over the motherfucking nappy head? Huh? You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to take my motherfucking towels and go to South Beach, because LeBron ain't the only one in the motherfucking game. And you fucking right, I'm goddamn hot. Stop calling me Mike. Fucking hot. Oh, shit. Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. We're having technical difficulties at the studio at this time. And again, we'll get out to the field office with some breaking news. Yeah, what's cracking? So yeah, we're gonna start off today with a little footage of Ilhan Omar, right? Minnesota zone. And then after that, we're gonna talk about what's tethering and what's not. Because if there's one thing that I do know to be a fact is that not all immigrants are tethers, but all tethers are immigrants. So we're gonna check that out. We'll double back and we'll talk about it.
Somalis, not black. There, I said it. Alright, everyone is keep asking, why don't Somalis want to identify as black? It's simple. The term black was never a word to begin with. Yeah. The term black, it didn't come from Africa. It came from America. Hello. Right? It was designed to separate slaves from Europeans. It was not designed to celebrate identity. It was to control it. Yeah. So when Somalis came to the West, we didn't suddenly become black. We were labeled. Alright? Imposed. And we embrace it. Chill like that. Chill like that. Sheesh. Somalis had identity before race. Alright? Our identity comes from our ancestors, not appearance. Yeah. Alright? Blackness is a Western category. Somalia is a civilization. Big difference. We're Somalis. Chill like that. Chill like that. What's your thoughts on this?
Why do you think Nancy Mace is targeting you as much as she is?
It's an easy clickbait. There is a lot of hate in this country for Muslims. There's a lot of hate in this country for black people, especially black women. Black people, especially black women.
Designation. And as we are fighting hard to get birthright citizenship or automatic citizenship for the children of illegal aliens, that's another way. It's automatic citizenship for children of illegal aliens. That's the other term that they use, which is actually more accurate, more understandable. And it's ridiculous. We're the only country that has it, and certainly the only country that has it to that extent. And it wasn't meant, if you look, it was really meant for children of slaves. This is when it happened. The children of slaves, it was not meant for everyone to come into our country by airplane or charging across the borders from all over the world and think they're going to become citizens. It's not meant for that. It wasn't meant for that. And hopefully at some point the courts will understand that without having to go through a whole big deal. This was meant for the children of slaves. And look at the timing of it and you'll see. And I hope judges will understand that. And it has to stop because it's really hurting our country.
I know that those of us who are Somali in this country see ourselves as Americans. That's what our passport says. That's what our nationality is. And we know that we are protected by the 14th Amendment. We know that we're not going anywhere. And we know that we are protected by the 14th Amendment. We know that we're not going anywhere. And there is no way.
All right, so that clip right there got me to say, oh, hell no. Now listen, Ilhan, I gotta go there, okay? You say you an American, But why did you say you trying to fight for Somalis in Somalia? You said that, ma'am. You said that. That don't sound very American. And you for sure not out here trying to fight for black Americans. That 14th Amendment that you're talking about so much, that came from my ancestors, not yours. Your ancestors in Somalia doing whatever they were doing over there. My ancestors fought for the 13th Amendment, and definitely the 14th Amendment, and the 15th Amendment. Those three amendments my ancestors fought for.
There's been generosities given in the past concerning the 14th Amendment. Those same generosities ain't gonna last anymore. They ain't gonna do anymore. And we need to do away with that crap. The 14th Amendment is for us, not anybody else. So if your people wasn't here during the course of slavery, and your people wasn't here before slavery in this country even began, it doesn't apply to you. You sit up here and talk about what you know, but yet none of y'all do your research. None of y'all learn the history of this land before you come here. You get all the benefits that all of our families fought, bled, and lost their lives for. And then you get over here and don't want to have anything to do with us because you've listened to the propaganda that's been pushed to you by the colonizer that got you in a bad situation in the first place. And y'all need to get up out of here with that bullshit. Many people have received the generosity of not being sent back wherever you came from based on the 14th Amendment. And so we found a way to nuzzle you in, and that's why they call them anchor babies, because it anchored them here to this country by having a child in place. But it was never meant for those people. So all of that was just hospitality and generosity that the government showed everybody else who came along after the fact. It's only for us. As a people, we need to stand up and make sure it's only for us. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be recorded and live. It's general outlaw. One love, one people. Unite, y'all.
Alright, so now that you've seen it, now we're going to talk about it, right? Now, I don't know if it's just me. Maybe my mind's playing tricks on me, but it seems like a lot of people are either walking around literally playing in our faces, suffering from cognitive dissonance, or just plain out delusion. It ain't for me to call or decide, but I do know I have a responsibility to act on it, as do you. I don't understand how a group of people who went from telling us that we have no culture and we don't know who we are, who just in literally under 30 years ago just got here and are now saying that this is their land and that they're protected under the 14th Amendment as if their lineage and their ancestors built this country. I mean, none of this is making sense to me, right? But then they say that we're delusional, right? Or we're xenophobic. Does no one see that this seems to seem or feel awfully like some type of replacement going on here? And then just as I showed you what was going on about the elections and how Venezuela has been clearly since 2006, they've been watching over our elections because they run and control the machines that we use for our elections. And now Maduro's own ex-right hand has admitted that they have been tampering in our elections since 2006. So then you ask yourself, is that why for the last 4 years the border was open and 500,000 Venezuelans all got TPS? But of course, no. That's an alternate reality in a different timeline because I'm tweaking, right? Somebody throw me a tinfoil hat because the black helicopters are circling. But yeah, this is where we're at with it, right? They don't believe they're tethers, but even when they're tethering, they'll look you in your face and tell you that you're xenophobic and you're practicing white supremacy, when as foreign nationals, when they immigrate here on paper, they are listed under stature of color of law as white. So they get to benefit from the privilege on paper when they apply for loans. grants, right? First-time home ownership, all their paperwork under color of law says white, right? However, all the legislation that their countrymen who we've given power to by voting for them, thinking they were allies and not infiltrators, which now hold government office and political seats, which now actually have a say over the legislation and the funding of this nation and our tax dollars. So when you ask yourself, why is all this money going to APAC? Why is all this money going to Africa? Why is all this money going to South America? Look at your representatives. Find out where they came from or where their parents came from. Just like Byron Donaldson, who told you, well, my dad's Panamanian and my mother's Jamaican, and I know there are a lot of black people in America just like me, who if we give reparations will not qualify. So for that reason alone, I'll have to vote against it. And these are the people that we extended the olive branch to in 1965 during the Immigration Act, when it was attached to the Civil Rights Act. Built a bridge like the Mocha crosses. And you see what's been happening ever since. So pay attention right now to all the fraud that's happening on a federal level with government oversight. Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, right? And how everyone turned a blind eye because they were Somalis. So let me ask you this, right? There are certain segments of the society that always like to blame everything on a certain specific people who are indigenous to the land. People who were here at the inception of this country in 1776 when the Declaration of Independence was signed. We were here and we helped build this country. In fact, we did all the grunt work and got it up out the mud. But now we're being written out because they're telling you that the immigrants, according to Mandami, built this nation. So I ask you this then. If you see the level of fraud that's going on in Minnesota, when they say that 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the crime, my question is, what piece or what group of that 13%? Oh, I'm sorry, that 13% is only Black Americans, which means that, again, stats can always be skewed if you don't look at either per capita or the final breakdown of these subgroups within the population that you're actually doing statistics on. So, how much of that 50% of the crime by the 13% is imported, and how much of it is homegrown? And that's why delineation is a must. But on that note, let me get up out of here. And remember, realize, transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars and keep that head on a swivel. And move safe, because you know, they playing the dirty game. Man, I tell you, I don't know why they keep cutting this motherfucking old nappy head, tap dancing ass fool. Knowing good and goddamn well these motherfuckers are always playing in our goddamn face. 1 minute we black, the next minute we not. 1 minute we American, the next we Somali. The last I checked, the 14th Amendment was here for the black people that was actually the descendants of the slaves. You know how the fuck these motherfuckers got here 30 fucking years ago talking about some, I'm protected under the 13th Amendment. I swear to God, every time I hear that fucking Yiddish in her voice, that fucking nigga Yiddish, it sounds like she got that salami stuck in her goddamn throat. What? Huh? Yeah, I'm fucking live right now. I'm fucking pissed. Oh, shit. Yes, welcome back to the studio. It is your man about town, Petty Murphy, again reporting to you live from the back of the classroom here at Akata News Network. We're going to close out this program for the evening. Thank you all for tuning in. God bless and good night.